This is the Self-Storage Podcast, where we share the knowledge and skills from the industry's leading investors, developers, and operators to help you launch and grow your self-storage business. I'm your host, Scott Myers, and over the past 16 years, we have acquired, developed, converted, and syndicated over 2 million square feet of self-storage nationwide with the help of my incredible team at selfstorageinvesting.com, who has helped thousands of people achieve greatness in self-storage. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Self-Storage Podcast. I am your host, Scott Myers, speaking live from the Inside Self-Storage World Expo in Las Vegas. And we have in the booth now, Ben Klein with Yardi. Ben, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate you having me on.
The pleasure is all mine. So how's the show been for you?
It's been pretty well. We've been having a lot of traffic stop by our booth, talking about both our Yardi Breeze product and our ancillary products. A lot of interest in our solution set, and we're excited to talk to the market about it.
Well, the market is excited. Everybody's running around. You can hear the noise in the background, and nobody. We're at the end of day 2 here.
We are.
And the excitement level has not seemed to wane too much.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just so many people here coming, all walks of life. It's awesome.
Well, storage has got a good story to tell. We've had a good run, well over the past 30 years, but boy, the past 2 have been just on fire.
Oh my gosh! Across the pandemic, people want to digitize their assets, and they want to have everything in the cloud, because of COVID and whatnot. So we're part of that story.
Yeah. Well, Ben, tell us a little bit about, first of all, yourself. How did you get involved, not only with Yardi, but then also in the self-storage business?
Yeah, so I found Yardi. I had a family friend from college. His dad worked at Yardi, and I got interested in Yardi out of college, looking at real estate growth opportunities and technology, and I felt that Yardi was the place for me. And then I started on the multifamily and commercial side. Went over to storage because I saw a huge growth opportunity in the market where Yardi was emerging into, and I've been here ever since.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, my introduction to Yardi was in the multifamily sector.
Okay.
We were very familiar with Yardi. Obviously, everybody knew of Yardi if you're in multifamily.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
so guys have been around, and the giants.
Yeah.
And so Paul was over here a little while talking about the data set and wowing everybody on the Yardi Matrix side.
Yes.
But let's talk about Yardi Breeze and what you do on your side of the business.
Yeah, so Yardi Breeze has been around since 2017 on the multifamily commercial side. We went into storage in 2019 with our Breeze storage basic product. And then in 2020, we released our current product, Breeze Premier Storage. We've had good success. We've had a lot of early adopters. They've moved over from our legacy products. And then we also are having net new clients come from third-party solutions. And they're really excited. They like how they can do their bookkeeping, operations, maintenance tracking all in one solution, paying their vendors. They don't have to use, all these integration points. Keeps it nice and clean. So
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you've branched off since then as well, and you've got some additional tools that you've introduced to the marketplace recently.
We do, yeah. So one of our new tools is Investment Manager. Before Investment Manager, we noticed this across the industry, not only in storage but in multifamily, is it's unorganized. People are coming into the investment phase of their real estate story. They don't know how to put their money in. They don't know how to sign subscription agreements. How do you link your capital through deal tracking? And so with Self-Storage Investment Manager, we are able to do capital calls and CRM tracking, and we have a dedicated deal room where you can sign subscription agreements if you're an if you're an investor. So it's great.
So this sounds like a back office solution for syndicators or folks that have a fund. Is that a fair way of calling it?
It's for owner managers who are seeking private equity or outside equity through limited partners. Not necessarily you have to have a whole fund. You can be I wouldn't say you have to be a family office per se, or it doesn't exclude family offices, but you do want to have a few outside partners. If they're silent investors, they want to get their K1s, they want to park their money with you, invest it and whatnot, but they don't want to be involved in the day-to-day. That's what Investment Manager is for.
Gotcha. So on the front end, do you have an underwriting model that layers in capital so that investors can make a decision on how to structure their capital stack and their investments before they get into a project? So yeah,
if you're the owner manager and you're trying to seek that outside equity, you can show different documents through that portal, what you might be getting yourself into. You can track the milestones and look at the structure, the promote structure, the distribution structure, and go from there. So it's not like there's a hidden veil. You do have access to a deal room where you can view everything of that investment and then sign the subscription agreement if you want to move forward with that investment.
Well, there's been a need for that in the industry, as you've seen, which
Yes.
is the reason why you created it for many, many years. 'Cause
Exactly.
and we've seen at this show, I don't know what percentage or by the amount, but there is a vast amount more. I would say more than double the amount of folks that are coming that are looking to syndicate, or funds that are at this show.
Yeah.
Equity that is looking for deal flow coming in here, and there's a whole lot of folks that are now looking to raise private equity, and they just don't have, these developers, merchant developers that just haven't, they're piecing together, building a team, and looking for resources like yours. So it looks like the timing has been good.
Well, the nice thing about investment manager is that if you have the property management side, so if you not only have the equity raising side, but also the management side, they link up. Mm-hmm. So it creates this ecosystem of products where you don't have to leave our stack to go to somewhere else and keep things disparate. It's all together.
So let's talk about the bookkeeping portion of this, or
yes.
the financials. I'll use bookkeeping just so that everybody's following and tracking.
Yeah, of
but
course.
To me, that seems like that's one of the biggest challenges, that we've got a property management software.
Yes.
And now we're trying to put it into our portal, link it with our portal for our investors, and handle the K1s and everything else and the reporting purposes.
Yeah.
And that's a clunky exchange.
So it is.
It sounds like you've done something to solve that problem.
We have, yeah. So because we have a gap accounting system, it's use that general principles of accounting and whatnot. On the property side, if you keep that nice and clean on Breeze, then when you're trying to fundraise using Investment Manager, when you're trying to do that consolidated K1, or you're sending out 1099s or 96s, depending on the vendor or contractor that you are, it keeps things very easy to report on. You don't have to, spend so much time with your CPA because the data's already there. When you're doing bookend, year end, you could just, click print or email, and that data is transmitted to your CPA to file with the IRS. Or you could send it directly from Breeze if you're doing 99s or 96s. Okay.
So there is a CRM portion to this as well, correct?
Yes, both in Breeze and in Investment Manager we have CRM capabilities, but on the Investment Manager side, if you're doing deal tracking, you can use a CRM to track opportunities from identified to close.
Fantastic. As you put this out into the marketplace from your investors, what have they found is to be the biggest benefit for them that maybe you weren't aware of, or that the feedback that you're getting since it is so new?
Cut down on communication. If you're trying to source a deal and you want to give someone access to a portal, so you source them, you track them through this CRM in Investment Manager. It's not so much email exchange, texting, whatever it is to talk to your investors or your potential investors. It's so much more streamlined. If you're sending out a subscription agreement, it's right there in the portal for you to look at. Yeah. I don't have to do so many email exchanges to negotiate on the terms of my agreement. It's all through a portal. It's all right there.
Well, a big piece of what this show is all about, and what I was speaking on yesterday, is the consolidation race.
Yes.
And how people are, buying facilities one by one or two or three here, and then they're rolling them up, and then eventually selling off to the bigger fish. To even perhaps a REIT or a regional player or a national player.
Of course.
And we're seeing this happen all the way up the food chain and self-storage. But what that means is that what we're looking at doing internally, and many other folks, are consolidating and rolling up our vendors, our resources, so that we can look turnkey instead of having so many silos of data and CRMs and numbers. I mean, you name it. You buy a facility and you inherit all the systems with that come with that facility, and QuickBooks down to everything else.
Yeah.
And so looking to have these platforms that are more consolidated, so that we can all be on the same page, so that it just makes it easier for us all to roll up to ultimately then be able to sell off, refinance, or recapitalize, or whatever. I mean, that seems to be the name of the game in this industry right now. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think that people don't want to have 8 softwares. If I spend a few $1 million on a portfolio, I don't want to train my staff to learn 5 to 7 different software systems. That's a lot of money and wasted time. And so if you have 1 or 2 softwares that you're learning to train on, saves you a lot of time, a lot more money to spend on future projects or hire more staff. Competitive labor market right now, if your employees aren't happy, they're going to find somewhere else to work. So the easier it is to onboard, the easier it is to train. That's what we're trying to deliver with our turnkey property management and investment management solutions. That's what we're trying to do.
I get it, and no surprise that communication is the biggest benefit, because if you're attempting to run an efficient organization and striving for that, communication is the worst. If everybody's looking for a message or looking for data, in one of the 8 different silos or buckets that you put it in, data's and file shares, as well as project management software,
the fewer systems that you have, the more
It's-
cohesive your team is. That just literally means everything to having a team, in an organization that is running efficiently.
Well, and I think that, as more storage organizations become institutionalized, I mean, I've only been in this industry for a few years, but I've noticed that there's been so much more institutional money come in. You're having Wall Street come on the scene, you're having all these people. You need a legitimate investment management tool. I noticed, I was talking to my manager about this. We're the only ERP solution provider that has an investment management tool for storage. I don't see any of the other players out here, and it's pretty unique to be in the situation where, a storage company can come to us and say, hey, I want you to manage not only my properties, but I want you to manage my investment portfolio too. You don't really get that with another vendor, and it's pretty unique to consolidate down to with one vendor too. So,
and I think it's going to be a necessity, as you mentioned. I agree 100% because we have this Wall Street money that's coming in, lots of funds, large players, and these folks are used to, they've been on Wall Street. The data that they get is real time. These data analysts, they get real time data. I mean, everybody's seen a stock ticker go across your screen at some point. That is real time, and then you come over to self storage, and these folks are just like, well, when do I get the data? Well, I don't know, give me a week or so, and I'll put the the information together for you. And that is just foreign to them, and they're just almost offended by that. And so I think the demands on the industry by the outside investors and money coming in is going to really force us to be able to tighten that up.
Well, and also looking at the metrics. I mean, if you're a limited partner and you're trying to see what the principal is doing, you want to be able to go and look at those KPIs, look at those documents that you get on a quarterly basis or whatnot. You don't want to have to email the principal all the time saying, hey, I want my KPIs, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not going to have the time to give you those KPIs. They might find time on a Saturday, but they're not going to have time during their day-to-day to give you those KPIs.
Yeah.
So to have a portal to access those metrics on a minute-by-minute basis is crucial when making new subscription agreements or whatnot.
And that's a selling tool, if you want to call it that. If you're bringing in private equity at the institutional level or at the individual level with LPs that are investing in smaller amounts, they're becoming very savvy, and they're looking for those folks, those syndicators, those promoters, those sponsors that have this data. They want to know, because what that says to them is that they got a handle on their business real time, and they've got a dashboard that they're monitoring. And if I can look over their shoulder and have access to that as well, that makes me feel comfortable. And that's what's going to separate folks. Well,
and another thing is that, I know that there are a lot of folks out here that are like, well, I'm using another third-party management solution. I don't want to use Breeze. The nice thing is Investment Manager can be sold as a standalone tool.
Yep.
So you could just have this as a siloed thing. You don't have to integrate with anything. We offer 2 flavors. You can pick and choose what you want.
Yeah.
But that's also attractive to people is if you're a shop that doesn't even have a portfolio, you're just fundraising 4 deals and you're maybe holding on to a project for a year and then you're selling it. You can just use our system to hold and sell. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Ben, I love it. Thanks for all that you and Yardi are doing for the industry. We
thank
love
you.
the data that comes out on a regular basis. You guys give back by way of more free data, plus your dedication to getting the data that we need even at the paid level for the industry. And this Invest tool, we are very excited about as well. So how can people find out more about what you're doing?
Yeah, so they can find more about us. They can go to yardi.com, check out our solutions through Breeze or Investment Manager. We'll be more than happy to assist.
Beautiful. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
Have a good show.
Hey gang, wait, 3 things before you leave. First, don't forget to subscribe to the Self Storage Podcast and turn on your notifications so you never miss another episode. And while you're there, please leave us a 5-star review if you like the show. Second, be sure to share your favorite episodes and more via Instagram, and don't forget to tag us. And lastly, head to the links in the show description and hit the follow and subscribe button on Twitter and Facebook to get a front row seat as we grow and scale our business and bring you along with us. Take care.